Hey everybody, happy Wednesday to you. Hope you all are having a great day. Wonderful week so far. Welcome to Midnight Hatter Live, the weekly variety show where we talk Gundam, Gunpla, and gaming. I am your host, Steven, aka Midnight Hatter, and joining me as always, the canceled Blue Gamer Gundam explainer, Adam Blue. How are you, sir?
I'm actually good because,
Yeah.
I guess you're referencing that video that, I put up today, and it's just something I just wanted to speak on more, and I think it was just the right time, and I felt like I could do it just the right way,
Well,
and
see,
it's
I
just
would have loved to have you on here with like the silhouette over your face and like the voice modulator, and you could be like, people that are out to get me and shouldn't be, like,
I
um,
know, right? Make it dramatic. Why
because
not?
that's what it feels like.
Yeah,
It
no,
feels taboo talking to you about these things. But yeah, like you mentioned, for those of you guys who didn't catch it this morning, Adam dropped a video over on Gundam Explained talking about his experience. Uh, it, it reminds me of like those Netflix documentaries where it's like the dark side of the
yeah.
oh, the dark side of the ring, the dark side of the music business, the dark side of Nickelodeon. This is like the dark side of influencer marketing, right?
I know, this what you said, the, influencer industrial complex or something like that? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's pretty good. No, and, the other thing too is in the video, I try to make it clear that I think it really just boils down to one person, and it's not
Yeah.
there was a few interactions, but obviously there's someone that has to make that call, and so, like, I don't have any hate toward the company. It's the same that I do as any large corporation, so
Well, and I think a lot of people will get it confused where it's like, just because you like Gundam doesn't mean you have to be a Bandai fan.
yeah, I
That's a
know. Yeah.
big, you know, I think and you and I are probably some of the people that have the most nuanced opinions when it comes to a lot of things. Like, for instance, I'm
Yeah.
a huge P Bandai apologist. I make no secret about that. It's like
Yeah,
I'll defend Bandai when it comes to decisions like, the P Bandai releases, the limited
I
release
agree.
Gunpla.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me a team guy. That doesn't mean that I agree with everything that they do. And first and foremost, I'm a Gundam fan, not a Bandai fan. Like, I hate One Piece.
Yeah.
So what? I hate
Sure.
pirates. Like, what? Why do people like pirates so much?
No, yeah, exactly. There's all these different franchises. It's cool though. It's like, Disney where there's all those different franchises you can give them or take them and all that. But
Yeah.
uh at the same time, yeah, I just at the end of the day I feel good about it because yeah, I don't know. There's just something about it where I just need to do that. So,
Well,
yeah.
I'm glad that you got that off your chest. And for
Yeah.
those of you guys interested, definitely check out the link down below and check out Adam's video after this. Because
Yeah, of
tonight,
course. After this.
yeah,
There's time.
yeah. After this, we are going to be, or well, today we're going to be working on some stuff in Blender. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big Blender fan. I'm a big 3D modeling fan. I'm also a big Gunpla fan. Just
Who knew?
fans all around. And so I dropped a little poll in the chat to see what you guys wanted to see worked on this evening. And it looks like it's a split vote here. 25% to the Gundam Pharact, which we started a few streams ago. This was like probably a month or so ago. Um,
Yeah.
25% to the entry grade GM conversion kit that I actually released on Patreon several months ago. But I think what we can do is we can improve it and
Mm,
eventually release it as like an official, not an unofficial, an unofficial conversion kit. Like
right.
the kind of stuff that you would see on E2046 or one of those other sites. I would love to share that kind of stuff with you guys. I think that there's some improvements that we could make, especially to the head
Mm.
sculpt. I feel like Luke Skywalker sometimes when I have these projects that I'll look at a Blender file that I haven't touched in a while, and I'm like, "But I've learned so much since then." Like,
Why is
um,
it something where it makes you feel like you should just redo it?
yeah, it's like
Oh, okay.
it'd be because I look at some of the techniques that I used at the time,
Mm,
thinking that those were optimal techniques, and maybe the product was okay, but it could be so much better if I had done X, Y, and Z.
okay.
So that's part of what I would like to do. And yeah, 50% of you said let's do something else, but I don't see
Really?
anything, like, I mean, Is there any, drop in chat if you guys, if there's something specific that you're thinking of. But
Okay. Yeah,
this goes to, obviously I launched the online store 2 weeks ago, taking pre-orders on those deck boxes for the Gundam card game, and there's some Gundam card game related items on there. But we're also, I'm trying to roll out some of the resin conversion kits and some of the electronics and things like that that I've been working on. So this is part of that, is like optimizing these files so that they're not just one-off prints, but more intended for mass production. Because
that's
and this
good.
has always been like a passion of mine, is like I've always wanted to make conversion kits. And this is part of what takes me so long to do them, is I've always wanted to make conversion kits that are very turnkey, like you don't have to make tons of modifications to the existing kit in order to make them work. You don't have to put glue on them or anything like that. And B, they are priced, accordingly. It's crazy to me that you'll see some of these master grade conversion kits that are like, the conversion kit is $160, and it's like the kit itself is 90. So, like,
I've seen that, yeah. So
it's
that
like,
is a
why?
thing. Yeah,
So, for me, especially when it comes to entry grade kits or the, SD cross silhouette kits, these are model kits that are like 8 or $9, and then I don't wanna be charging, like, more than 15, $20 for the conversion kit. So, the idea is we keep them tight, affordable, compact, and, try to pack as much value into these things as possible. So,
that's cool. Yeah, being efficient. It almost reminds me of when I'm working in Photoshop, not I mean, you would know this, and I'm organizing the folders, I'm like, "I'm gonna use this later. I need to put the, layers in folders and label the folders, or I'm not gonna know what's going on here later." Uh,
and then you have to label it correctly. I mean, I've started doing that even, with my Blender files. When you start looking at the scene collection, you'll see like
oh, I
you
start
you
seeing
you start seeing like the chest final final,
oh, yeah.
chest vents final, chest upper final. Like it's like everything broken down by part.
Super Final 2 Turbo.
Yeah. So, actually, so with that in mind, let me go ahead and let's fire up Blender,
Cool.
and I'm going to open a particular file. I'm going to open up this entry grade GM because I do want to show you guys the improvements that we plan to make. Um, if it will load here, we'll see. There we go. I even added some materials to it so that it looks authentic.
Yeah, I was about to say that there's, like, something about it that,
Right?
yeah.
So, typically, when I'm working in Blender on some of these model kits, I'll just use random materials, and the reason I just use random is because it allows you to see what each individual part is, because you could just say, "Oh, I just wanna see the object view," and this is what it's going to print as, right? Like, you're only gonna print in one color, theoretically. But it's nice to be able to identify, like, okay, which parts are going to be what color, which parts are going to go where. And then, especially for color separation purposes, the way that I've designed this conversion kit is almost completely different from the entry grade Gundam uh, internals itself, right? So, like, for instance, if we look at the backpack is converted from a two beam saber, like you see on the entry grade, to a single uh, beam saber rack there. The other side is
uh,
closed off. And this is all of the parts that are printable from the kit existing, is like, it's just this. The rest of it, like the arms and legs, it's all borrowed from the entry grade Gundam. Um,
huh.
but then, like for instance, when you look at the collar design of the GM, the collar of the Gundam has that gold tapered area around the neck, right? And then most of it's blue. The GM is slightly different because the collar is red and extends up, and then it's only the inner collar that is the like white, that bluish white color that the GM is
Yeah.
known for. So when you look at like the way that the entry grade Gundam is designed, the chest vents and the collar are all one piece. It's all one big yellow piece that sits in
Oh,
the
yeah.
middle. And so what I had
understand.
to do in order to make this work is I actually broke those pieces apart and made it so that the chest vents are individual yellow pieces so that you can paint them yellow. And then the collar is its own piece and it's in that blue. So
Wow, that is impressive. Nice job.
yeah, it's the little details that matter.
Yeah,
um
that's why these
but
things take time, right?
yeah, right?
Yeah, gotta
um
do it right.
so what I want to work on today is I don't think that the head design is optimal. And the reason I say that is because the way that the head currently works, and we'll see if this works if I can grab on the Z axis. So, the way that the head works is I tried to make it so that you print the entire head by itself, and then it slides down over the top of the visor uh, and the
The
what do you
sensor.
call the cameras, the
Yeah,
sensors.
camera. Yeah.
So and it works, but unfortunately, it leaves a lot of clear space because in order for that visor to clear the underside of the helmet, like, you
Mhm.
have to have a lot of, like, open space there, and so it's not ideal
Mm.
to have it designed that way. So, what I'd like to do is maybe redesign it in such a way where instead, maybe we create a seam. Oh, Blender's freaking out on me now.
Oh,
Just close some of these superfluous programs that I've got running.
72 tabs in Chrome?
You know it. Um, that'll probably help smooth things out for us a little bit. So let's hide the head here. So what I'd like to do is create a seam and make it so that the head is actually two pieces that can close in around the visor and the cameras. And then that way we don't have to account for all that empty space.
Okay.
But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous myself.
Oh.
Um,
Why you don't wanna start cutting?
well, so I really wanna make sure that we have, like, a nice clean seam. Like, I don't wanna do that thing like you would see on early 2000s high grades where you have a seam line that goes right down the middle of the
Oh,
round cap on
yeah.
the ear.
I see. So you
So,
might have it go around the
yeah, we might have it go around, so, like, kind of up from here, around, and then up to the top, and then maybe even, cut up here where the bend is in
Mhm.
that camera, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
So it's on a thingy, an
yeah,
angle,
whatever
whatever.
we can do to ensure that those panel lines stay kind of hidden, because who likes that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And look, you can even see that there's almost like a seam that's already pre-cut there.
Oh, interesting.
So, let's see, I'm trying to think of the best way to go about this. I think what we're gonna wanna do is let's go into face select mode, and we're just going to start uh, grabbing some faces here, and we're gonna separate the head into two chunks, the front and the back. Unless you think it would be better. Well, no, there's no way you could so it would either be the front and the back, or like you cut it down the middle,
Yeah.
and that's just a terrible idea
Yeah.
to have a seam line like right down the center of the face.
Although I wanna say there's 1 or 2 I've built recently that were like that.
Yeah, I would want my money back after something like that.
What
Actually,
was it?
come to think of it, most of the Witch from Mercury kits have seam lines, like, down the middle,
Okay.
at least the
I
ones that
think
I've
it's a little
built.
more angular and it could be hidden by whatever V-fin
Yeah, like
thingy.
the Desulter, for instance, like has a seam line not even a seam line, it has like a nub mark like right in the center of its chest. I was like, "Who designed this? This is terrible."
Wow.
And here I am like being super anal and trying to
Well, hey, it'll look good.
hey, details matter. But no, I think that this is gonna look good, if we just kind of cut it right down the middle, except on the back half, we're gonna have the ears attached. I'm gonna just call them ears because 'cause I'm not even sure what you would call the
Okay, good. I was about to say, you weren't calling it anything. I'm like, "Should I? Do we? Do we name it right here? Ears?" I'm okay with
Yeah, ears it is. Um, or do we make it a 3-part? Because we could do that and make it so that the top snaps into the
it. Yeah. I don't know, whatever you feel
well, don't
is
trust me, this is
oh, well, if you're gonna ask anyone, if anyone else on this call would know.
Yeah, phone a friend. Let's, um let's see here. I'm trying to get rid of some of these superfluous images and parts because we don't need to see all of it, right? Let's hide some of this stuff. Chest vents, chest inner, hide the
Alright.
backpack. The reason is I want to come under here and make sure that I'm grabbing all of these faces underneath as well, because we want to make sure we get the entire thing and not just the outside.
Okay, so it's it's external housing for the sub camera, but, there's not a name
Ah,
for it.
the sub camera. Interesting.
Yeah. Hmm. So I guess it's just part of yeah, the head has that shape to contain what it needs to. Oh, did
Hmm?
I think my camera might have went out. I don't know if it did that on
Oh yeah,
this.
did
Yeah,
it?
let me, look at that real quick. But I'm still here.
Yeah, let me see what's going on
I
there.
think
Yeah, it
it,
just says
uh
no signal.
I think it actually overheated because it is hot AF
Oh
here.
yeah, one of those lovely Texas nights.
Actually, it's been like this so much, and I think we're sleeping downstairs tonight to a
Oh wow.
yeah, it's that bad. Alright. I got this backup camera here.
Good
Uh,
deal.
just a bit. Alright,
That's wild though. I don't think I've ever seen a camera overheat.
so it could just be because it's this I've had it happen before, the Sony a6000. If I use it long term, like, outside, especially during this time of year, well, when I would do that, it would do that sometimes or after 30 minutes. Um,
Yeah, kind of like if your phone's left in a hot car.
yep. It's just I'm telling you, it gets so hot here in Texas, it's crazy. It's and part of it, I've mentioned this, I think, a whole lot. The way the home was customized did not lend itself to how the AC is set up. So it creates heat pockets, bad distribution for heat as it goes up the stairs.
Oh
Because
man.
what was an open area, they actually enclosed into a room, but they didn't account for the airflow. And there's things we could do. And I remember one time you were telling me too, didn't you install some sort of unit? Um,
Yeah, we have a mini split in the
mini
basement
split.
of my house.
Okay.
And in theory, we don't even necessarily need it because like our AC is technically big and strong enough to handle the entire house,
Yeah.
but it's just not ideal to have it running that hot all the time.
Okay, so you're oh, hot, as in Heat.
Well, just as in, like, just pumping that much air because the problem is, like, right now, the way that our AC works and similar to you is it's like the upstairs is where all of the duct work is, and then
Yeah.
there's nothing in the basement. So the basement used to get really hot. Um, but in order to, like, get air down to the basement, either we would have to install more ducts to run the AC down to the basement, or we just like you said, you count on, like, the stairway to
Yeah.
transfer heat, and, like, that's not
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is all interesting. Yeah, I'm looking that stuff up online. Maybe I need to get a mini split or something.
I know.
Well,
Exciting stuff for the audience, AC talk.
I know, right?
Welcome
Hey, but
welcome to HVAC Central, where we discuss various heating elements and how
hey,
to cool your home.
3D modeling on Blender. We've got video game talk. The hobbyist stuff is just like installing an AC.
It really all is intertwined if you think about it. Just don't think about it too hard.
I know. Yeah, because I haven't even been wanting to hang out in this office, and that's where I usually build.
Mm.
And yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna have to look at one of these units I see. But I guess, uh, part of it is I wonder how hot it gets in Texas compared to other places. Like I'm sure everyone has their own relative heat threshold. So,
Probably. Um,
I mean,
I
do
just
you
realized I
think
don't
when it
want
gets hot where you're at, where it's like the end of the world?
I mean, it gets pretty bad, but, like well, so for instance, we lost power, last night, for for practically no reason at all. I think, like, a tree fell somewhere and a
Oh,
transformer blew.
okay.
So there was no, like, storm, nothing like that. And so as a result, it was about 78 degrees, overnight, which doesn't sound like a lot, but, like, when you're trying to sleep, that's not
Mm,
fun.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Well, and that's 78 degrees, like, inside, like, not
Oh, well, no, still that's uncomfortable.
yeah, I just don't wanna sound like a British person who complains about it
Be Well, what does that British person complain about?
Well, you know how, like, the Brits are always complaining about it being a heat wave, and it's like, "Oh, you mean it's, like,
Oh,
78 degrees?" Like,
yeah, I heard like getting in New York, it's getting really hot too, but I don't know how much of that, yeah, is um a real heat wave or just it's a little uncomfortable. Like, for instance, there's no walking during the day here. I have to do it in the morning. No one will walk in the afternoon.
oh, yeah. No,
It,
absolutely not. And I would say that the only advantage that you have being where you are is that it, like, in theory, it's dry heat, it's not like the
yeah.
humid, right?
It's only humid, like, whenever, like, it rains or maybe it might maybe last a few days in a row, but usually it's dry.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is very good. Um, I think I've selected all of the phases that we want to select for this. And again, this is tedious work, but I think it's going to pay off in the long run because we're just going to right click and hit separate by selection. Um, and so, yeah, now we should be able to like,
Just
okay,
drop
so
it, huh?
see, I did miss some faces there that I'm going to have to like, that I'm going to have to
Yeah.
get, but
But
that's
hey,
okay. We will,
that's
we
cool.
will fix it. So let's hide that. Let's grab all this stuff that I missed.
Hey, by the way, I think we talk about this every episode. Eternal.
Oh, yeah,
Anything Did you get all the SD guys?
I did. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
and I told myself I wasn't going to.
I know. That's
Now,
cool.
that said, you know what? I have not been able to beat I've not been able to beat the level where you unlock Lacus Klein as a character yet on
Oh,
the generation tower. And this is one of those things where it's like this is why I love G Generation Eternal so much is that it's not just a simple gotcha like idle game where you
right.
can get a certain number of units and max them out and then you don't have to try anymore. Like I have 10 ultra rare units. I have like a squad that basically will walk through any any normal level, but like the Generation Tower East levels, they are built in a way where you really have to take into account, well, there's bonuses that you can get by being within proximity to certain things, and there's targets that you have to do. So, like, maybe you have to protect units. You have to make sure that Zex doesn't get killed in the first 3 turns,
Yeah.
or the level that comes just before you, the Lacus Klein level, is one where you have to fight Shar in the Gelgoog and Lala in the Elmeth. But in order to fight them, you have to survive for 1 turn, which kind of sounds intimidating because you are up against both, Sophie and Nerea from Witch from Mercury in the 2 Ilfrith
Oh,
units. Um, One of them is a support unit, one of them is a defense unit, so they're constantly playing off of each other. You're also fighting against the brothers, the Frost brothers from Gundam X, and one of them's a support unit, one of them is a defense unit, so they're playing off of each other. And then there's a line of GM snipers on either side of the level. And so basically every time you attack, you're gonna get shot by 3 different snipers and then attacked by one of the one of the support units.
dude, that just sounded awesome. The
Oh,
whole thing you just
it's
said.
amazing. And so then you end up having to, like, bait and switch.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
cool, like,
Ah,
and so I highly recommend that people get on the, G Generation Eternal bandwagon.
that's cool. Yeah, I need to I'm now saving up and just waiting for I don't know what. Like, what do you think would be another although we've actually talked about that here on this very show. I think you know the, order of things.
Well, I never would have predicted, Lacro and Hero as as the next
Yeah,
event.
that's true.
I was thinking, "Oh, let's see more Gundam X stuff." There's tons of units that
Yeah.
have not been released for, Double O, IBO, so there's tons of stuff that they haven't done yet, and,
So the variety's cool.
yeah, variety's good. And speaking of bandwagon, I can't believe that I didn't show this stuff off. I am well into the
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna turn off the screen share here for just a second so I can show these guys off to you guys. I am in deck building mode for the Gundam card game here.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some Gundam Pharacs, which I have mentioned to you guys how much I love this particular Gundam. Choose an enemy unit and it gets -2 attack power during this turn, which, I mean, that's just awesome. It actually makes sense given what the Gundam Pharact does, right? With
Yeah.
the Corax, and it, like, disables body parts with its stun beams. So it's like it can disable attacks and make it so that it deals less damage to you. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Likewise, I had to just load up on all of the Academy units, the Darabald, the Michaelis. All of them are control type cards, things that will, like, send cards back to your opponent's hand and, like, restore
Nice.
HP, weaken AP, all that kind of good stuff. Um, my favorite pilot here, Shadiq Zanelli. Um, he is a command card, so you can use him as a command card or you can use him as a pilot. Always very cool. He and the Darabald actually have a similar effect where it's like they can send cards back to your opponent's hand. And what I like about that is that if you have a link unit in play, you can send more powerful units to your opponent's hand. The thing about all of and I don't know why they did this, this seems entirely broken,
Okay.
but all of the Witch from Mercury units, with the exception of like the aerial, they all link using the Academy trait, not using the pilot. So that
Alright.
means Shadiq using the Gundam Pharact, Guel using the Michaelis, like, all of these pilots and mobile suits are interchangeable, and that just makes your team is insanely broken.
Well,
Um,
Academy is only in Witch for Mercury.
Correct.
So I wonder what other things they could be coming out with that have their own. unique sort of thing, you know? That'd be
That's a good
interesting.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I wonder. I mean,
Like, I'm trying to think if there's something introduced later, like maybe with narrative, it might have something to do with the new types, the children, you know?
yeah. Well, and I know that like they have the Triple Ships Alliance, so the team from Gundam Seed, but those they still require the link units are specific units, so it's not like you can use
Yeah.
Kira
Any
in the Justice Gundam.
Yeah.
Um,
So I wonder if it's still all tied to mobile suits, but I wonder if there could be something else, you know, like yeah. Um
yeah, so I don't know. All I know is that it's going to be fun to bruise guys' egos, beating them with Witch from Mercury decks.
You know what? So and I guess I'll talk about this tomorrow too, but Gundam Base that
Yeah.
was near me. And again, it was so hot outside. Andrew and I went. My wife drove us, dropped us off, and she was gonna go stop somewhere. And then I walked
Did you get an
around.
allowance?
Yeah. I walked around the mobile thing to see the line. The line wrapped all the way around.
Jeez.
It was nearly 100 or probably was at that time over 100 degrees, and I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna stand out here." And the one main thing I was looking for was to see if they would have the Gundam Universe Wing and Epion that
Yeah,
they're
with the
coming out with.
special finish.
Yeah, and I saw them make a post then online saying this is what's gonna be available at the Gundam base, and none of that stuff was there. I don't know if that means that's for sure, but then you wouldn't believe what happened
What's that?
because I haven't told you. But
Well,
Ian, Sneaky Sama called me and he's like, "Hey man, I'm at this hobby shop and they have the Wing and Epion." And I was like, "Dude, grab them." And I Zelled faster than I've ever Zelled before. And that was just so cool that it worked out that way. Um, so
serendipitous.
yeah, I cannot wait to do the review. Anyway, so it, it anyway, but this is related to the card game because they had a booth set up for people to play the card game out in that heat. I don't. There's no way.
That's brutal, man.
I don't. And they had, people had umbrellas. I saw a kid that was soaking wet because I think they were pouring water on him. Like I and here's the thing though, that it's such a cool place to like if the weather was normal, I would probably be out there for 12 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I wonder if
Nah.
it's my old man age and I'm like, I'm not gonna be in this heat. I don't know.
Well, and, I'm surprised that they went through with that considering, like, I mean, dude, they have rules at, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments where, they have, like, hygiene rules where
Oh,
you're not
interesting.
allowed to show up if you don't shower, so
Oh, I mean, that's a good one though, I gotta say.
yeah, I mean, I wish more places enforced rules like that.
Yeah, right. Even
Having
houses.
been to having been to enough Comic Cons to experience, all of that.
Oh man, I know. But
Oh god.
um, well, anyway, since we've been talking about other stuff, how's this going? Have you made progress?
Yeah, it looks like we've made some progress, right? Like, now we have just the faceplate isolated, and all I'm gonna do is kinda close up these open faces because, we want it to be a solid part, right? We don't want
Yeah,
we we don't want any non-manifold edges. Um,
I wonder if there's something, and maybe you already thought about this to make the Vulcans like a separate thing, but then like it would be. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Color
no, for
separation.
sure. Oh, wait, what did I just do? That was not what I wanted to do. Here we go. Let me grab these 2 edges, face those off, and then we should be able to close this up. And then we would wanna make sure that we make all of these hard edges. So we'll come up here and set the average crease to 1. Um, I don't know how I feel about this, random edge here, so I'm just gonna dissolve it. When in doubt,
Just
dissolve
dissolve.
edges.
Okay.
Um, and then, we can triangulate faces and tries to quads. Although there's still this, like, random edge here that I don't know what it's for, so I'm just gonna delete it and see what that no harm done.
Next thing we know, alarms start blaring outside. No, I'm s
Yeah, no kidding. So, let's see. It would be fairly simple to break out the Vulcans and make them separate pieces because basically all we'd be taking is this front piece and then we'd kind of like open up a hole in the back to
Yeah,
where they would slide in. The question is, how would we make it color separated in a way that is beneficial? Because let me bring some of these pieces back here. We need the visor. So this is the visor piece, and then the camera is this one. Now, the way that these work, and maybe I can, it might be a little difficult since they're currently in that like clear material. So
yeah.
let me set them to random materials here. We're going to jump out of edit mode here for a second. So the way that these work is there's like a, and you can probably see it there, where you've got this like peg on the
Mm,
visor that the cameras slide on top of, and it holds them
yeah,
in place. Now, the visor itself is attached to the neck joint. So like that's where the ball joint snaps in from the bottom. Um, Now, of course, if we are if we're revising this to where it doesn't all slide in from the bottom and it actually closes in from the front and back, then we could close this up and we don't need this huge gap here underneath the chin, which is kind of cool. So that's something to consider. But and to answer your question, this would be probably if we were going to use like an internal piece to be the Vulcans, it
mhm,
would probably be this piece here, right? Because then we would
yeah,
just kind of like attach it to that. And then when you close the thing in, the Vulcans would poke through the little holes, right?
yeah,
But the only problem with that is that currently, the way that I have it in my mind, and maybe I'm thinking about this wrong, is that I would print these in clear resin
yeah,
because naturally I would want to stick LEDs in this thing. Um,
yeah,
but
for sure.
maybe that's just my selfish. Let me know in chat what you guys think. Like, because I know that the entry grade Gundam itself doesn't have any clear parts. Like the eyes are molded in just yellow plastic, and the cameras are molded in yellow plastic. Which can I just, as a side note, it
Okay.
blows my mind that the real grade 2.0 just had yellow molded eyes instead of clear molded eyes.
Why? Because you wanted to do the LEDs.
Because I wanted to do the LED. Well, no, I mean, you think about, like, most master grades have clear
Yeah,
eyes or clear visors and things like that.
right.
So
Yeah, normally they do, and it's the option of putting, a sticker on it or not, you know?
right, or, like, you can do the light piping where it's like you shine the light in from behind and,
Yeah.
so
Which
that's I in essence, this is what this is it's just
yeah,
fancy light piping,
which would be cool for the again, the Vulcans, like, if it was yellow. So then, like, you could have it almost look like but that, I think, is a lot for a small spot. Like, that would be cool. Or it would have to
I
be
don't
a
hate it.
separate piece, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
and it could be. I mean, I in th like
I think if you had it flickering while the green was just on.
I mean, dude, there's plenty of room up here where we could put like a second ring that comes down on this peg, and
Yeah,
the second ring is just an opaque one.
that would be cool. But then would your plan be to design it so then you could put an LED for that or pipe be able to
I think you'd still be able to pipe light
yeah,
in through the cameras and everything. So, like, these parts would still be clear. Um,
right.
yeah. All we'd be doing is kind of like adding in a couple of cylinders here that connects to this peg. I don't know. It's not a terrible idea. Let me just
No, yeah, it's just a lot of work. potentially.
Well, that's not something I'm afraid of.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
so let's
And
see. I do have to clean up some of this stuff because I missed like a couple of these. So let's just join those together, make sure that that's all one piece. And we're going to call this the crown, but I don't want to lose it. So I'm going to just crown as a hyphen. Um, and then these parts that got separated from the backside, we're going to join them up. And we're going to just call this head back or head rear. So we've got head front, head rear, and head crown. So now let's come through and we're just going to seal up some of this stuff here. Uh, that seemed to do the trick. Is just getting rid of that like stray face there. And then, and again, I'm trying to preserve a lot of the a lot of the topology here. Like I don't want to, in theory, it's like I could just hit Alt and then bridge edge loops, but sometimes that results in suboptimal
it changes up
suboptimal
the
topology.
geometry.
Oh, hey, shout out Classic Quarter Gameplays. Thank you for the 14. I've been working on a
Oh, hey.
GM Sniper 2 fan project story 2 years in the works as one man. I can send you pics on Discord of the real life Gunpla model I built. I would love to see that. That's sweet.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Two
Very cool.
years in the works. Man,
Yeah, that is really cool.
I admire you as a solo creator.
Yeah.
That is tough work.
Yeah, I'll have to see that.
Did that chat pop-up work? Okay, good, it did.
Yeah.
I
No,
would
that
get
was cool.
nervous when, but
Even the
yeah,
Metal
thank
Gear
you.
one.
Yeah, man, I love I I so very rarely get to use those little alerts, so but yeah, shout out CQ, GP, Classic Quarter Gameplays, always hanging out in chat.
I know.
It's a real one. A GM Sniper 2 story. What do you think it entails?
Um, well, like his avatar reminds me of Shiro in a way. So I'm wondering, if a lot of his stuff is more the uh ground sort of stuff, which is cool stuff. I, sometimes I sit there and I'm like, oh, there's always the ground style Gundam stuff to think about, even though I think about space a lot.
Yeah, I think about space probably more often than I should, but not like colonize Mars levels, but
Right, right. No,
enough.
yeah, it's where our heads are.
um, yeah, I saw that. Uh, who was it? Was it Zaku Aurelius posted on X the other day saying like, "What Gundam fan story would you want to see produced?" And I believe it was Ultronymous that suggested like a tanker story.
But what kind of? I don't understand. What was the question?
Like what kind of like Gundam story would you want to tell? What would be your Gundam
Oh,
fan fiction?
I see. And what was Ultronus say?
Something like tank related, like
Make it like tank
like
battles or something? Like
yeah,
if
like
you're
not
building.
mobile suit pilots for once.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I would like that, especially yeah, that and the core fighters or something like that. And it's
Yeah,
almost like they're looking envious at who's the mobile suit pilots. It's kind of like a rivalry.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That is a good idea. I just use the fighter. Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I guess, like
I'll try to. Yeah, share some more of that stuff if you've got it. That'd be very interesting.
and I guess, like, the closest that we get to that is something like Igloo with,
Yeah,
with the
because that
hill
was
dolfer and,
yeah,
uh, what are
which
some of the other weapons from Igloo that are
yeah,
not strictly mobile suits?
yeah. There was man, why can't I think of him?
Man, there's so much ugly geometry here.
Uh, Speaking of ugly geometry, MS Igloo. No, no. Well, that's the funny thing because it looks bad, but it's actually really good. MS Igloo is really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than some other stuff that I've seen, for sure.
Yeah, but I feel like that's just another example of one that really doesn't people don't talk about it much.
Yeah, do you think that it's unjustly maligned?
No, because you know what? When it is brought up, usually it's positive. It's just not brought up, I think,
Mm,
often. So could be, or just maybe where I'm looking, I don't see. Um, yeah, but I think over time people stop hating on things.
eventually the hate dies out.
Yeah, and then it's cool to like it.
Yeah, it's cool to like things, didn't you?
Okay, what would be the most non-cool Gundam to like right now?
I mean, like, Gundam series or Gundam,
Yeah,
like, Mobile
series.
Suit?
Like, my favorite series, without a doubt, is and then what would be, like, a cringe answer?
Oh, man. That
That's
is a
kinda
good
tough
question.
because I look at each one and they're all valid. Uh, I
Ooh, I
mean,
don't know.
like, for me, it would never be Mobile Fighter G Gundam or whatever as in, my favorite, but I understand why it would be for others.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand the appeal
Yeah.
of G Gundam.
Yep.
Um, and man, I gotta tell you, I don't know. It's definitely a toss up. I saw there was somebody that posted one of those things on Twitter that was like, "Oh, one has to go," and it was Hathaway, Seed Freedom, Witch from Mercury, and G-Quux. And the people responding to it were just, I don't know, man, next level.
Like, response as in
Not even like I can't even single out a single group of fans because to be honest with you, I find, uh, G-Quux fans as
oh.
insufferable as Witch from Mercury fans.
Oh, okay, I see.
I think that both of them are okay. Like, you and I have said, like, G-Quux was pretty underwhelming.
Right,
Um,
right.
and likewise, I think that, Witch from Mercury is underwhelming, but what's weird is that both Witch from Mercury and G-Quux have this weird cult following of fans.
Yeah, I think because they both represent non-traditional Gundam storytelling,
Yeah,
and it's more general anime.
and here you go, this is actually the perfect take. The only cringe answer would be the Gundam fans who don't like anything but the 1990s OVAs.
Wait.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
exactly, because half of them are all
That's
post-UC fan fiction.
no, that um, yeah, that's a good way to look at it, kind of like an inverse. Okay, you know what? I was sitting here while you were doing that, building this mobile suit ensemble, Hyakushiki, and
Oh, yeah, let me pull up
I eh, lost a foot,
an entire foot.
an entire foot. I've got the leg, but there's a foot missing. But you know what? I bet it's here. It's gonna show up in a second. I'll just wait.
In the void.
Yep. Oh, you know what? Here it is. It's in the plastic. There we go. You always got to double check the box. It's like that with
Oh, yeah.
Legos.
Well,
Although
and
it's funny, the times that it comes up
no,
where it's like, "No, they messed up. They lost. They didn't give me all the pieces for sure."
don't be one of those people.
And
That's the cringiest answer. No, and oh man, maybe I changed my answer. Maybe it's 8th MS Team fans.
that
Wait,
when they say that's their
uh,
favorite?
that's the thing is it's like I can't even say a Gundam series that I dislike. I just dislike the fans of all Gundam series.
Um, you know what? Maybe, and I get it still though, but Char's Counterattack.
Really?
Like, if
You're
that's
still
the favorite, that's the favorite? Now, maybe if that was the first one you watched, but I don't know. There's something about Char's Counterattack that eh, maybe because it's just a rushed movie.
it it does feel rushed. I think that yeah. Which feels more rushed, Char's Counterattack or G-Quux?
Um, well, Char's Counterattack is G-Quux, I didn't even feel like it really had any cohesive, like, flow of a
It
plot.
didn't have
Yeah, it
basing
was
in the
just like
first
whatever
place.
can really happen.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Man, what a mess. What a mess.
Okay, let's see.
I think I screwed up this side. Yeah, here we go. Dan V in chat, I too dislike fandom in general. Mhm.
Yeah, you know what I found is what I think people are in search for? It's not a fandom, but it's a close group of friends that have an overlap of things they like.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because I think if you rely too much on signaling or getting feedback from a fandom online or whatever, it's not as deep as if you were doing the signaling amongst your friends. About I love this. This is so cool. Check this out. Oh yeah, well check this out. This is cool. And the back and forth.
And it's important to remember that friends don't have to all like exactly the same things and share exactly the same beliefs either.
Yeah,
Um,
and a lot of times it's like, oh, you like that? I don't like that, but here's something that has this that I
right.
like.
Look at the guys
And
from
then
Top Gear.
yeah, 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 exactly. That whole thing. That whole thing. Okay.
But yeah, no, it's I commented about this on Twitter because, someone had brought up the idea of the Tomino cult, like people who are just which speaking of which, you dropped a video on Monday
Oh
about
yeah.
Tomino, which
Yeah.
was fascinating because it was like the first interview that he'd had in a long time
Right.
discussing the original Gundam. So again, guys, links in the description if you wanted to check that out. Really fascinating stuff about Tomino's early life. And
Yeah.
yeah,
It.
a lot of people will hitch their wagon on Tomino, and there's like that cult following that goes around with him. But
Mhm.
then what I noted was that there's a lot of people who aren't even Gundam fans, who aren't Tomino fans, and they will latch on to out of context quotes and, snippets
Exactly.
from a press conference that he did, and they will take these things out of context in order to create a narrative where they project their own values onto him. And it's not even because they necessarily care if he believes the same thing that they believe. What they do is they want to bully the people that they don't like into not liking Gundam because the creator doesn't like them for some reason.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's
that's
a
very interesting.
weird psychological trap that so and to me, there's 2 things wrong with it. First, it's like an appeal to authority fallacy because it's like you're saying like, "Oh, well, Yoshiyuki Tomino hates your guts, so you're not allowed to like Gundam." And it's like I don't care if he likes me or not. Like
Yeah,
I can still
exactly.
enjoy the art that he created, you know?
And in fact, he could be wrong.
And he could be wrong.
Which
But
that's kind of what I was saying in the video. It's kind of like he's got the right idea, I think, but I think he is the one that's telling. He is the one that's teaching it.
yeah.
It's
Um So yeah, I don't appreciate that, and then especially taking advantage of the fact that like and I've said this before, you and I've talked about it before, where it's like Tomino kind of kind of infamously hates his own fans. And we could probably do a whole deep dive about why that is and like, the theories behind it.
And
Um,
you could even draw a parallel to George Lucas.
exactly. But we'll come back to that
Yeah.
because Classic Quarter Gameplay has dropped another 12 in chat. Thank you so
Oh,
much, CQGW or
oh
GP.
yeah.
Uh, Adam, I sent my Gunpla pics of my model GM2 sniper with an effort sneak peek, but it's the kit I'm using for the skins for my blender. I sent them on Instagram. Is that
Oh, or yeah, let me get the Instagram.
I was like, I got an Instagram message, so I was like, "Wait a second."
Oh,
Um,
sweet. Yep.
nice. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. Um, and I'd be interested in seeing like, I'm always fascinated by fellow Blender artists because, my Blender skills are very much like slapdash, hack it together.
Yeah, and um yeah, it's hard to see on there, but yeah, if you search classic quarter gameplays, it's just like it's spelled just like it sounds, classic quarter gameplays, one word.
Sound it out.
Yeah, you'll see his page there.
Yeah, I don't know if the camera will pick this up.
Yeah, but that is a neat custom. I mean, this is real custom uh work here, like custom fan fiction stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see stuff like that animated. But yeah, back to the idea of like creators and kind of turning on their fan base. It's like
Oh,
it reminds me a lot of like, Todd Phillips and the Joker. And like, he made this movie about a disenfranchised, mentally ill, bullied man, who's got a sick mom and has all these things going against him in life. And we've talked about this before where it's like heroes and villains in stories often share the same origin story. It's just how they react and how they cope with the trauma that they suffer that turns
yeah,
them into a hero or a villain. I mean, you can look at like Camille versus Shar Aznable. They both lost their parents, but Shar became a genocidal maniac and Camille became a hero,
right.
arguably by killing a lot of people, but that's a whole other.
Yeah,
But, when you look at a movie like The Joker and you take the protagonist and he is venting his frustrations that are real frustrations that people in real life actually have, you can't be surprised when people identify with that character and pretend like, "Oh, you're liking him for the wrong reasons," or, "Oh, you missed the point by idolizing him." It's like, "No, you presented it to be idolized." Like,
yeah.
and so then, when Joker 2 comes out and it becomes like a humiliation ritual, like, let's tear the Joker down and remind people that he's the villain that needs to be hated. It's like, okay, dude, like, I'm sorry
Oh,
that
so
people
was that the intent of that sequel?
it definitely felt that way.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, they kill him in the well, spoiler alert.
And I haven't watched either. I kinda don't plan to. I'm not interested. It could be good cinema, but um
I don't think you're missing out much. Like,
yeah, I mean, I remember hearing the plot of the first one, and I just that sounded like a depressing film, so I was just like, "Nah."
it is depressing.
Yeah.
It's quite depressing.
I understand, like, the gravitas sometimes dramatic performances that are steeped in depression can be, or
Oh, yeah.
have, but, I personally almost like some modern horror movies, I'll just avoid just because after having kids, it's hard sometimes to.
Oh, yeah, like, I'm not a huge fan of, like, Saw or Hostel or those types of
Yeah,
movies.
that stuff. Or if it's, like, depicted, like, almost real, but if it's like Jason,
Yeah,
like,
that's
I
kinda
love that.
hokey.
Yeah, I like it when it's like if it's a monster, also like Predator, like, if it's something like that, I'm pulled out. Um, so
Let's see here.
which by the way, that Alien series just dropped
Oh,
on
have you,
Hulu.
checked it out yet?
I haven't yet, but, um, I just keep hearing good things about it everywhere. Even my dad was like, Because he's into that stuff, and he was telling me he heard it was good. So
Nice. Well, I can't figure out exactly why the left half of this head is looking all janky and the right half looks good. So here's what we're gonna do. This is when all else fails, guys. What you do is you go into your, invisible select mode here. We are going to grab everything on this side of the head, and we are just going to. Well, I thought I hit. There we go. I need my 3D, like the X-ray mode here. See, we'll grab everything on this side. This is my favorite dirty trick to play in Blender. We're just going to delete it all and go into the modifiers tab and add a mirror modifier. And now we
nice,
have a complete head.
nice. You always want a complete head.
Yeah, please, please, do not lose your head.
Yeah. Which, man, reminds me of a joke that was in Naked Gun. Saw it the third time last night
Wow, that
with
good.
with Goji Effects Unlimited with Andrew and another friend of mine, and they even said it was amazing. They liked it a lot too. And I know my buddy said he was gonna go see it again with his wife. So
Really?
I'm telling you, it's so good.
Man, I
It's
really want to go see it.
yeah.
All
It
right.
should be on digital soon. That's how they all drop now.
Yeah,
And
isn't
I'm
that
totally gonna get that on digital. I'm just gonna watch it every day. I'm gonna annoy my wife. No, I already do. So
well, that's your job as a husband. It's like it's part of the wedding vows, in fact.
yeah. Well,
Let's see. There's one last thing that we can do to try and clean this up. We're gonna merge some vertices. Removed 15. That should have cleaned it up. It looks a little bit better, but there's still this like broken piece at the back here.
hmm,
I'm not sure exactly what's causing that. Could be that we've got a couple of vertices that are like they're not all together and they're not playing nicely. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna grab these, we're gonna merge them at the center, pull them all towards the middle, and see what that does. Much better. So it took an hour, but we officially made one back half of a head.
nice.
we
Looks
have
good.
we have 2/3 less head than we had prior to starting the stream.
Well, hey, it didn't so let us say something about that.
Move forward and lose two.
Yeah, so
But hey, progress takes time and perfection,
yeah.
is is worth striving for. So
Yeah, and
that's
during
what we're
that
gonna do.
time, I completed the mobile suit ensemble Hyakushiki. Love it.
See, you're so much more productive than I am.
Well, this is easier than Blender.
Well, hopefully the finished product will be easy for people to assemble, and again, this will be something that I try to get up on the store by the end of the month. In addition to
That's
the
cool.
SD Pharact that I started all those many moons ago, but again, making some progress there with color separation and designing it so that certain parts fit together in various ways. I'm actually borrowing a lot of the design philosophy from the SDCS Calibarn
Mm,
because that one doesn't use the full SDCS frame. It only uses like the chest and the arms.
right, right.
Um, because the Witch from Mercury mobile suits are so unique in their design and in their
Yeah,
silhouette. They have skinny
exactly, very
legs, and
thin. Yeah.
so yeah, I can't wait to show that stuff off to you guys. Thank you for sitting through this, me struggling through Blender while trying to chat with Adam about big, heady Gundam ideals.
Oh, it's fun. It always is. It always is.
But yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely go look at the hot goss. I'm excited to see what you guys think about um, about Adam's tell-all. Um,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about it tomorrow. But yeah.
No, I appreciate it. It's like one of those op-eds that
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sometimes it's interesting to get an idea of how all that works, especially among where a lot of these different industries are seeing turmoil, especially the video games industry, which Bandai Namco is big in. So,
oh, 100%. And as someone who has been on both sides of affiliate marketing, like, I have
oh
contracted
yeah,
with affiliates. I've, like so not only have I paid influencers for content, I have hired affiliates where I've just given them products and then just given them coupon codes. I
yeah,
have been an affiliate where people just give me coupon codes, and I've been a paid influencer where people will pay me for content. And so, like, having experienced every facet of affiliate and influencer marketing, it's so much more nuanced than most people are willing to admit. And so
yeah.
I appreciate you sharing your experience,
Good,
for
good.
sharing your truth.
Yeah, exactly,
But
exactly.
and I also appreciate you keeping it positive because, someone has to around these parts because 'cause I'm
Yes,
just gonna hate on everything.
right. No, I think that's part of. In order for me to have done that fair and right, it would be in a positive manner. So,
Exactly. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Classic Quarter Gameplays, for the super chats.
yeah,
Thank you
definitely.
all for supporting the store, for supporting the model kits that we're getting ready to drop here. And I hope that you guys enjoy them. Like that's I wish that I could just send them out to people and you guys build them. Um,
That would be
well, I guess
cool.
I can. That's part of what
There's
we're doing here.
logistics involved. Yeah.
Logistically, we can make it work. But yeah, check out Adam's video from earlier today, and we will
Yep.
catch you tomorrow on the Gundam Explained show. Until then,
See
go
y'all.
say hi on Discord, go pester me, and
Oh yeah.
well, yeah, we'll hang out soon.
Yep. See y'all.
Cheers.